So I was about ready to take the old TLX Shouty out for a winter morning drive. Then we got reports out of Japan that Lexus is reviving the F lineup. Now, stopping by Lexus enthusiasts is Lexus planning an F product onslaught, and they're finding reports out of Best Car, which I feature on the channel all the time. So we're gonna head over Best Car. It's a Japanese scoop site. There is so much information in this article here about what's coming out this year, not only for Lexus, but for Toyota, Mazda, etc. Pretty much all the Japanese manufacturers. And guys, get your snacks and drinks and buckle in because we got a lot of we have a lot to talk about. I can't even put my words together. I'm so amped. And since you guys clicked on over for the F lineup, which has been completely ghost town lately because the GSF is gone, the ISF, how long has that been gone now? Since 2014, I believe. The LFA, that's been gone since 2012. And what's left is the RCF, which hasn't had a whole lot of attention with upgrades or anything since its introduction. What was that, 2014, 2015, something like that. And yes, we'll get to the LF1, what they're thinking. We'll talk about the BRZ and the 8.6 when it's coming out. The GR Corolla, we'll talk about that. Here we are. Let's get into it. November F model debuts one after another. Lexus ISF, the return of the ISF, the introduction of the LSF and LCF. Guys, these rumors have been swirling for so long. This article does not confirm that they're coming. The only way that we know it's coming is if Lexus announces it. Now, we know we're getting a brand new image or brand image from Lexus this spring. So in the coming 2 months would be my guess. And maybe they introduce, hey, we're making the ISF or IS 500, whatever they're going to call it. We're bringing the LSF, we're bringing the LF1. They need to introduce something big this year because they can't keep going at this rate. It's a near miracle that they've been able to maintain and even jump Mercedes in the year of 2020. It's crazy. I think it comes down to more of the customer experience and the product itself, but let's keep reading. First of all, the ISF set in the previous IS will be revived. Now they're saying they're going to put the 2UR GSE motor in there, the 5-liter V8 with 471 horsepower. I think a lot of us would be okay with that, returning its role as the original ISF, but now in this super refreshed IS that looks great. It just needs a little bit of pony under the horsepower to get it going. Then the F will finally appear in the Flagship LS with the twin-turbo V8, the 4-liter. They're saying 670 PS, which is close enough to 660 horsepower, and it should rival the S63 AMG and the BMW M760 Li. And we've been waiting for more information on the LCF. One day we hear that it's off, a week later we hear that it's back on. It's just a complete mind F for us who are anticipating some excitement from Lexus. And here we are, LCF. This is the last flagship sports coupe, the LCF, equipped with the same V8 twin turbo 4-liter that we see in the LSF. The chassis is thoroughly tuned according to the power. 21-inch tires and wheels are worn with double joint multi-link suspension. The suspension upper mounting structure of cast aluminum is adopted to improve the rigidity, and of course it'll help reduce the weight of the body of the vehicle, which we all know the LC 500 is a pretty heavy vehicle. But guys, we are not done with Lexus yet. We're going to go back to the top. The vehicle that they opened with, Lexus LF1 concept, was released at the 2018 LA Motor Show, and they're swinging for the fences here. This is going to compete with the Bentayga, Porsche Cayenne, and Lamborghini Urus. And yes, I said Urus, guys, because that's how you say it in Italian. Now the LF is going to be developed using the GAL platform, which is interesting because the upcoming Crown replacement, which could be an SUV, that's going to the TNGA-K platform, which is a front-wheel drive platform, but they're actually using a rear-wheel drive platform, the more expensive one, which is the GAL, to underpin this new LF1 flagship. So there's going to be the twin-turbo V6 that we see in the LS, of course. And of course, the new twin-turbo V6 hybrid. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's going to be the exact same setup that we see in the upcoming LX and Land Cruiser. Twin-turbo V6 hybrid could be around 500 horsepower and still keep the 10-speed automatic transmission. But yes, there are still plans for the newly developed V8 4-liter twin-turbo. Now, what blew my mind here is that the price is said to be 15 to 20 million yen class. I'll put exactly what that is up in US dollars, but typically that's somewhere around 140 to almost 200,000 US dollars. Lexus hasn't had a vehicle that expensive since the LFA. So there is a market for uber expensive flagship SUVs. They are selling. It would be nice to have Lexus have a flagship again. I know the LS and the LC are the current flagships, but something that would definitely follow the spiritual succession of the LFA. I know not in terms of performance, supercar performance, but in terms of high-end, super high-end luxury, having a face for the brand, if a halo model per se, like the NSX is for Acura. This flagship crossover with 660 horsepower could be the flagship model, halo model, I should say, for Lexus. The brand really prides itself in having some of the best crossovers in the market, at least the best selling crossovers in the market with the RX and NX, and to have a flagship would be absolutely phenomenal. But again, I'm not going to say any of this is going to happen. I think we'll learn more in the coming weeks / months when Lexus unveils their new brand image. They need to spill the beans quite a bit because people are jumping ship slowly. Their sales are still good, but interest is definitely waning for Lexus as other competitors, whether it's Tesla or Genesis, etc., are putting forth really compelling products. Okay, time to jump ship from Lexus going to Toyota. They're saying July is going to be when the 8.6 and the BRZ come out. So if you guys have been waiting for it, they're saying July, which I was expecting summer anyways. So there you have it. Expect it to be in the summertime, maybe July for the 8.6/BRZ. Sticking with Toyota, heading over to the Land Cruiser. They're saying it's going to be happening in September of 2021. Again, we're not getting this Land Cruiser in the United States, at least not for a while. It should come as the LX. Recent reports are saying December of 2021. Fingers crossed we get the new J300 series in the form of the LX this winter. It would be absolutely epic. They say the new Corolla Cross, which is produced in Thailand, is going to be heading to Japan. So I think it's only a matter of time before it's going to be produced here at the Alabama plant alongside Mazda's. So yeah, Corolla Cross going to go out on a limb. It's going to come to the United States as well. And it could be by the end of this year. It just depends on when that Alabama plant is up and running. Now they're saying September for Corolla's hatchback, or should I say the GRMN, as the recent reports are saying, for the Corolla hatchback and the Corolla wagon. Just depending on what market you're in, we would be getting the hatchback here. It could be happening in September. Holy smokes, pretty darn excited with a 1.6 liter inline 3-cylinder turbo with all-wheel drive, or should I say the GR4 all-wheel drive system is what they call it. Super excited about that. Now they say October for the LX. I just spoke about the LX. I didn't know that they even talked about the LX in this article because this article is absolutely massive, but they're saying October. When we got the report from the Philippines saying that it's December, it's kind of like a window at this point. Now they're saying August is when the new Civic is going to be hitting us in North America. Definitely stay tuned as Honda should be revealing a lot more details about the new Civic soon. We really don't have a whole lot of information about it because they unveiled it on Twitch with no solid details. They're like, oh, this is what the car looks like in sedan form. But they're speculating that we'll see, of course, the return of the 1.5 liter turbo and maybe a 2 liter hybrid system that we see in the Accord. I don't think we'll see that. I think we'll see maybe a 1.5 liter hybrid system. I think the 2 liter might be too powerful for it. And then the Type R Civic should be debuted in 2022. Now the new WRX S4, we don't technically get the exact same model here in the United States. I believe the closest thing would be the WRX, but it looks like it could be hitting Japan in August. And it is pretty much based on the Levorg, of course, with a lot more power. And they're saying 2-pedal sports sedan, the S4, which I'm assuming means automatic transmission. Hopefully they ditch the CVT, but I'm not getting my hopes up there. And they're saying they're going to, of course, the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo that we see in the Subaru Ascent, Outback, Legacy as well, with somewhere around 260 to about 285 horsepower. But pretty much it's going to look like the Levorg and be very similar to the Levorg, which is definitely okay because I'm a big fan of how the Levorg looks. This caught me off guard. December could be Subaru's first coupe SUV called Adrenaline. The engine will be a 2 liter e-boxer and a 1.8 liter turbo to choose from. And of course it'll have the new Subaru Global platform. Now for Nissan, they're going to be getting in September a vehicle called the IMQ. Not sure if this is going to come to the Americas though. Now it could be a similar platform as the Aria. They're saying that the IMQ is equipped with an e-Power that does not require charging. And e-Power again is their form of hybridization. It's fully electric driven, but it has a gasoline power generator essentially. And the gasoline engine is a 1.5 liter turbo, which would be the first time I think they would be using a turbocharged engine in an e-Power setup. So the drive will be 4-wheel drive with 2 front and rear motors. So I'm not going to say 4 motors, it's just going to have 2 motors, 1 on the front axle, 1 on the rear axle. What's crazy is that the total output of the 2 motors is around 340 PS, which is roughly, let's say 330 horsepower, which is immense for a little e-Power crossover. The price is supposed to be around $35,000 to $45,000 US dollars. That could really be an interesting product if they were definitely to bring it into the United States. But again, we'll have to wait and see. It could be something just for Japan. We don't know yet. And lastly, Mazda, they're bringing the Mazda 2 back in September. We're never going to see the Mazda 2 here in the States ever again, but it's going to be the first ever that I'm aware of 3-cylinder Skyactiv X engine that runs almost like a diesel, with no spark ignition, but it can if it needs it. And there's also going to be 1.5 liter diesel turbo, as well as a standard 1.5 liter gasoline engine. Now they're saying in 2022 it may be equipped with the rotary engine as a, I guess it's pretty much a plug-in hybrid at that point in time. There's a lot to digest today. The Lexus F line either needed to be canceled or completely revived and just shocked with the lightning from Thor's hammer, because it is a complete joke at this point, and it's sad to see that Lexus pretty much abandoned it for years. If they want to commit to performance within their luxury line, they need to revive F, and it needs to be in multiple products. It needs to be the ISF, the original. It needs to be an LSF because that's their flagship. It needs to be the LCF because that's the sportiest vehicle in the entire lineup. Do we need the twin turbo V8? Maybe not, but that's what a lot of people want, and it puts them on the same playing field with the Germans, at least for now, because electrification is going to be having so much of a higher importance going forward. And just like Cadillac just came out with their Blackwings, the CT4 and the CT5V Blackwings with manual transmissions, it's kind of like the swan song for the V8s and just the ultimate high power. Even though I know the CT4 has a twin turbo V6, it's kind of like the swan song for Cadillac and their high performance engines before they go fully electric. Revival of F here could be the last, let's say 5 to 10 years of them going hard in the paint with high performance V8s, V6s before things get electrified and cars become soulless. But guys, I'll leave it there. I need to start driving this super handling all-wheel drive in the snow before it melts or gets plowed. I got to test out that shouty. So guys, have a wonderful day. If you haven't smashed the like button, go and do that. Subscribe for more Japanese and Korean auto content, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.